37th parallel on America's haunted highway, it's Pixelated Paranormal, your guide to the unusual and the strange.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Pixelated Paranormal, episode 113. Some sweet, easy listening as we are transitioning from Star People Part 2 to Star People Part 3. And, Preston, anything new with you, buddy?
No, I mean, not really. I'm just excited that, eventually in a couple days we're going to get to Borderlands 3. And, That's really, my lady got a promotion, so good job.
Oh, nice. Congrats.
Good job to her. And she's going to be making that, cheesy bread, so
I can, they call it.
That cheddar cheese.
Nice. Well, congrats, man. She's been working pretty hard, so that's awesome.
That's it. That's all I got, really,
I don't have shit. And it's just you and I tonight. Steven is taking one off. He's got plans this evening, so it's just you and I, but that's fine. I think we'll do A-okay.
Yeah, fuck Steven. We don't need him. You've been stinking up that backseat, son.
Well, the only thing newsworthy that I found in this short period of time, because we just recorded like 3 nights ago, apparently Six Flags of America is doing Fright Fest 2019, and it's marking like their 30th anniversary or some crap, and so they're doing a pretty cool competition. Here's a fun way Here's a fun way to spend a weekend. In Maryland, the theme park Six Flags is challenging couples to spend 30 hours together in an unusually tight space for the 30-hour coffin challenge. The competition, part of Six Flags of America's Fright Fest 2019, will see 6 couples of any sort, romantic pairs, family members, or just friends, and find them spending 30 hours in a coffin together from 4 p.m. September 27th through 10 p.m. September 28th. The couples will be allowed to have a friend nearby during park hours, but they will be alone when the park is closed. That is, alone save for a few Fright Fest ghouls who will be lurking in the dark. The participants will not be allowed to use their smartphones or other electronic devices except during designated break times. They say anybody who gets out of their coffin for any reason, with the exception of a designated bathroom break or meal break, is automatically disqualified and not eligible to win the contest. The couple remaining at the end of the 30-hour challenge will receive $600, a pair of 2020 Gold Season passes, and a Fright Fest prize package. Participants will potentially be exposed to fog, dramatic lighting, flash photography, and extreme weather conditions. So, do you think you could last that long? 30 hours in a coffin?
Yeah.
I do too. I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal.
That ain't no thing. I mean, we both been in isolation tanks, and so...
That was for like an hour and a half.
Yeah, but that hour and a half wasn't nothing. And I'm a sleeper, so dude, I can just fucking sleep for that 30 fucking hours. Like, I don't give a shit. Like, I don't even need a bathroom break. Just let daddy sleep and wake me up when I'm done. So
that's kind of what I thought too. I would just take a nap.
Yeah.
So last year they had these were independent challenges, and their official rules were coffin dwellers are required to be at least 18 years or older and have a photo ID, cannot have any medical conditions that would make residing in a coffin for 30 hours a risk to your health or well-being, sign a waiver, be able to lay completely in a 2-foot by 7-foot coffin, and providing your own pillow, sleeping bag, and or blankets.
Yeah, I'd just fucking sleep the night away.
And I mean, it's not even a closed coffin. You have like a little window for your face to stick out too.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it seems like too easy. I'd be saying, like, what about like a 60-hour challenge? Something like that.
I could do it.
And they said every 3 hours you can get out for 13 minutes and stretch, use the restroom, and use a cell phone if need be.
The only thing I couldn't handle is if I'm sitting there relaxing and some motherfucker drops a spider down the face hole and I have a spider crawling. Then fuck that, I'm out. Like, fuck you, $600.
Oh, no. And they didn't say that they would necessarily be exposed to that kind of thing deliberately. But yeah, that's a good point, man. If something crawls down in there, that might be a little bit of a little situation there.
Yeah.
Well, I guess there is something new with me. I've been recently expanding my collection of dead things, and, or rather, Shayla has been for me. She got me that octopus that I told you guys about several episodes ago, back in January. And then recently at a farmer's market, I found a really cool Taiwanese blue beetle that has these like yellow and blue spotted wings. And then recently for our anniversary, she got me a bat that has been taxidermied and hung up in a little shadow box. So I am successfully creating a wall of curiosities and dead things. And then I found a really badass, two really badass makers or creators on Instagram. One guy is named Kind Nuggets, and I think I may have posted a photo of this before, but he made a really badass, like 2-inch tall, 2.5-inch tall magnet out of resin of different He-Man characters. Mm-hmm. And I bought a Yeti painted variant of his Beastman. So I'm pretty excited about that. And then because I am the ultimate, well, not the ultimate, but I am a huge He-Man Masters of the Universe fan, I found another guy named the Monster Sandbox who does resin work and makes other curiosities. And I bought not a lucky rabbit's foot, but a cursed Beastman paw from him recently. And that just came in the mail. So I've been adding a lot of weird, creepy shit to my wall here of stuff and things. And I'll post some photos of these. But Preston, what is the weirdest thing you've ever bought before?
I bought 2 haunted rings off of eBay for I'm not going to tell you how much. It was it's not a substantial amount of money, but more money than what I should have spent on said items. So
now, are these rings you can wear personally, or are they just like somebody's old, engagement ring, or what?
You mean I guess I could have worn them. It looked a little odd. One of them
might something that you do wear then.
Well, no, I mean, one of them looked like almost like a mood ring sort of thing, and then the other one was like an antique ring with like a butterfly on it or something. Huh. So, when the Dybbuk Box that whole story came out, and what was that show that we used to like to watch on Sci-Fi?
Had the Paranormal Witness, was that what it was?
Yeah. So it was that episode of Paranormal Witness that came out with the Dybbuk Box, and I was talking about how they got it on eBay. So my curiosity got the best of me, and I was looking at what haunted items I could in fact buy on eBay. And the idea of the djinn has always fascinated me because there are certain rituals that you can do that can bind these spirits to inanimate objects. And the number one object to bind a djinn to is, in fact, a ring. So if you're over in Jerusalem, if you're over in, the Middle East somewhere, and you go to a curio shop, you could find an old, nasty Arabic man who, in fact, could sell you a cursed item.
That just sounded inertly racist, and it wasn't on purpose.
No. Yeah, no. I'm sorry. I don't mean it. But I want you to picture
an old disheveled shop owner.
Yeah. And he's got the big, long, nasty, crusty fingers, and he's like, take it. And so this idea is always just really fascinating me. So I'm like, fuck it. I want my own haunted ring. So I researched, and I found a credible dealer on eBay, and I'm like, dude, send me those 2 rings. And so she sends you the rings, and she sends you the paper with the spirit's name on it and the incantation that you have to say to activate it to get the djinn bound to you. And all that took place, and not a goddamn thing. I got a mood ring from a one of them little 25-cent gumball machines, and like a really shitty costume jewelry butterfly ring that fell apart within a week. Or maybe maybe they were haunted and the spirits just weren't feeling it, and that's why the butterfly wing broke, because the spirit exited it And
I bet you your ghost got lost in the mail.
Yeah, or I just got scammed, you know?
Yeah, I'm
going with that one. But, I mean, lesson learned, right? I mean, I figured I should start small. Like, I don't want to buy a Dybbuk box and then get super fucked with demons in the house. I figured I start off small with a ring or two. Let's see how.
You go straight for a gin, huh? That doesn't seem smart at all.
Let's see how that works. So I'm not sold that it's not a possibility. I'm just sold that maybe you shouldn't buy that shit off of eBay. So I think that we should take a trip to the Middle East and find that curio shop and go from there.
I like to think that you were not duped, but instead there's a really haunted UPS truck somewhere on the road right now. Ghostbuster style, and they're just cruising down the highway. Well, that leads us to the main topic, Presto. I think we're going to talk a little bit about haunted eBay.
Fuck yeah.
Because, when I was at, where did I go? Kansas City, a few weekends ago. That's what I did after Shayla had fallen asleep. I got on my phone and I wondered, what kind of weird crap are people selling on eBay currently that is quote unquote haunted? Anyway. So yeah, I thought that'd be something kind of cool to delve into, just some of the weird shit that you can find on eBay that is haunted. And I've got some heavy stuff towards the end, that's going to be pretty interesting to talk about with some pretty good stories behind them. But I've also found just some really stupid shit that doesn't have any stories, just short descriptions. But I think you kind of nailed it when you're talking about your experience with the rings. There's so much to be taken with a grain of salt here because a lot of it probably just is a bunch of shysters and people who are either A, superstitious, or B, just out to make some fast cash. And you'll never be able to tell the difference from one to the other, I think it started off kind of that story, the Dybbuk Box getting sold through garage sales, and that's eBay. It's a digital garage sale, and Bob's your uncle. We could just be making tons of money right now if we wanted to sell a bunch of shit and be a bunch of scam artists. But do you have any off the top of your head that you know by heart, any weird shit that you found?
Oh, on eBay?
Yeah.
I came across like haunted sex dolls where the spirit of a prostitute somehow got trapped in like a Raggedy Ann dog. Mm-hmm. And so for the bargain price of like $300, you could buy the doll, and then after like a couple of days of it being in your house, mm-hmm. the ghost of the prostitute would visit you in your dreams and fulfill all your wild fantasies. And I mean, that's like a flip of the coin, right? Like either you're going to spend $300 for the best sex of your life, or you're going to spend $300 for like an old ratty ass doll
and friction burns.
Yeah.
Oh. A lot of thigh chafing. Well, it's funny because one of the funny ones that I found on here as well is supposedly a haunted sexy spirit bra. The bra is reportedly containing the spirit of a sexy woman, and by wearing it, you can allegedly ensure not just great support, but a constant stream of admiration and gifts. So you put this thing on and men shall be swooned by you. Apparently, it's a bra from the 1950s, size 32A. And if you place the bra by a lit white candle, you can oftentimes see the full-bodied apparition. Or if you place it by a red candle, you can have a full-blown erotic encounter with the spirit, according to the seller who claims this for themselves.
Yeah, we can reenact that scene from Ghostbusters.
Or Ghost, if you want to have something a little less steamy, that's fine too. I also found a haunted donkey, a small decorative juice container that has surprisingly spooky backstory attached to it. According to the owner, it spontaneously fills up with water. The inherited piece of kitsch has been exhibiting this odd behavior for years. Since the owner was a child, at first they suspected their grandmother, who owned the item at this time, was filling it with water to play a practical joke. But then she died. And they discovered that it was something else at play entirely. One night, the seller knocked against the jug by accident and noticed it sounded like it had liquid in it. Knowing that it was completely empty, when they investigated it, they found there was indeed a clear substance inside. I thought to myself it was a mistake, they said, but it has happened sporadically ever since. I'm not scared or anything, I just want to know what's the stuff in it, and I wish my Nana well in the afterlife, if this is indeed her. Another item, you might like this one here, is a haunted jinn mask. The person selling the mask claims they have personally witnessed a witch in Thailand capture the jinn and then place it and bind it inside the mask. Among the mask's alleged talents are the ability to bring the owner riches and the ability to keep vampires away.
Oh, fuck, I need that right there.
Are you being besieged by vampires currently?
Oh, yeah.
Both are very useful skills, but they come with a hefty price. You must consistently make food offerings, drink offerings, and more to keep the jinn happy. Not to mention the fact that for the first month, you'll have to meditate on his name 3 times daily for 20 minutes per session.
Oh, man, maybe that's what I did wrong. Maybe I didn't meditate enough on the names that lady sent me. Like, I just
Did she send you names?
Yeah, she sent me names on the paper and everything.
Oh, wow. Do you still have the paper?
No.
Boring. Well, it sounds like you kind of got taken for a ride by this one. A highly active ring. According to the seller, described in the listing as a small paranormal investigation society, this stainless steel is a stone ring and possessed by a ghost named Aiden. If you wear it or keep it close by, you'll bond with the highly active spirit of the 19-year-old Aiden, who supposedly died in a motorcycle accident and now appears as a light or a streak in your vision. He will turn lights on and off, close and open doors, and you can smell a faint waft of men's cologne in the air when he's active.
That's just called axe spray because, he's 19.
Because bruh.
Yeah, bruh.
And the last goofy piece of trash here I found is haunted Ziplocs. Go ahead and banish stale bread to another realm. According to the seller, this $25 paranormal sandwich bag has the simple plastic pouch of a Ziploc, but can restore or heal anything and anyone. There's no wrong way to use the haunted Ziploc bag of restoration. I could think of a couple, actually myself, but it works best on snack foods. The most effective way to use the bag, we have discovered, is to purify, decontaminate, revive, and give new life to food items, such as Cheetos, sandwiches, pizza, chopped veg, and granola.
Damn, stoners unite. That's what you need.
So can I just take a bite of pizza and then drop it in there and then boop, boop, it just pops back open?
Yeah.
Like a full piece of pizza.
There you go. That's the gift that keeps on giving.
The ad says it's haunted, but not by an actual ghost. If you stick a lock of a loved one's hair inside the bag, it can, quote, heal, resurrect, protect, or lessen the burden of that person and what they might be experiencing at the time. The bag can come in a set of 3, 6, or 9.
Wow.
Fuck it. Let's just turn this off right now. I'm going to go buy Ziplocs. I'll meet you at your house. Let's make a fortune. So that's where my investigation started, was there. And I couldn't help but think, like, this is fucking stupid. This is so terrible. But then again, I wasn't on eBay yet. I was actually still kind of perusing Google. Like, hey, what's a really cool thing I could find? So next I came to a website called HauntedAttractionsOnline.com, and they had some better hits. First of all, the African Gula chest. An attractive carved urn is currently offered for sale by a self-proclaimed satanic minister who lives in Connecticut. It looks just like another decorative piece of art for your home, often kind of like something you buy at Hobby Lobby. But apparently what you see here is an actual African Gula chest designed to bind demonic energies inside. And it could be yours, Preston, for just $150.
Damn.
Is that more or less than you spent on the rings?
That's more than I spent on the rings. I think combined on the both rings, I spent like maybe $45-50. So
that's not too bad. I thought you were going to say that's none of your business. Well, the demonic ghost apparently playing host to this strange device is that of the ghoul Gin, or Gien, spelled Gjin, similar to Jin. The seller promises to include a sealed document detailing everything that the new owner needs to know, but he accepts no returns, prefetching instead that once it's gone from his house, it is mother flippin' gone. Next up, Preston, don't get too excited, but there is a haunted dragon ring being sold right now for $300. Who wouldn't want to have their very own dragon? Well, now you can for the bargain price of just $320. Or less if you want to risk bidding against others. The sterling silver ring is a gate ring and allegedly the vessel that houses the spirit of a green dragon, a creature older than most others in the paranormal plane. The seller will instruct the new owner how to bond with the spirit.
Slap my ass and call me Sally.
But again, Presto, going through all this crap, I just realized I should probably go straight to the tap and actually try to find some legitimate haunted shit, right?
Yep.
So as of September, I believe, 7th, these were some of the offers that I found. And what's fun is questions you may have about these items are kind of answered in the following stories. I've got 3 items here that I just randomly chose, and it's kind of cool. It tells a really interesting story as we go through each of them. And I'll include pictures on the Instagram. So up first is a wooden Dybbuk box, asking price $55 plus $9.95 shipping and handling. This wooden Dybbuk box was found in the attic of an old house my friend recently purchased to renovate, says the seller. Since beginning the work on the home, we had been hearing strange noises that sounded a lot like animals of some kind up in the attic, scratching, hissing, and shuffling around. So we went through the attic and found these strange boxes and other random belongings that were left behind by the former owners. We removed everything and found no animals or pests or evidence of what was making the noises. Since bringing home one of these strange boxes, I have experienced unnerving occurrences. I've heard whispering sounds like they are coming from over my shoulder. I've been touched and scratched, noises and doors opening and closing on their own. So I'm offering it for sale to anybody who's willing to deal with this. It's a black wooden box with an inlay and a wax seal surrounding the lip. It measures 8 by 6 by 3 inches. As per the eBay policy, I must state that there is no guarantee of any paranormal activity, this being sold as a novelty item only, no returns. And it's kind of a cool black box. Hang on a second, I bumped my mic. It's kind of a cool black box with kind of this weird looking wood flower design carved into it. But what I found was really bizarre is it's got wax all around the opening and kind of dripped across the top. And so I didn't know what the hell the wax was for. And that was the first thing that kind of piqued my interest. But that's cool because it'll be answered shortly, unless you want to chime in, Presto.
Is it because like they dripped candle wax on it when because like certain candles you'll use like white candles to keep away negative spirits, so they might have dripped white candle wax all over it.
Okay, cool. Let me finish swallowing my whiskey here. I wasn't expecting you to have that short of a question. I thought you knew the answer, but you brought up a good question. I like where you're going.
Yeah.
So the next item here is a chest that has 3 drawers and 1 little glass window on the front that appears to have a baby doll inside. And so thinking of Demas that you and I saw at the Museum of Shadows, I thought, yep. And on the back of it, it actually has a star carved into it with some what looks like maybe Jewish writing or help me out here, Middle Eastern writing perchance, Sanskrit.
Yeah. Yep.
Are you looking at the photos as well?
No, I can be. Hold on, let me.
So for $150, I recently switched accounts. So to view my past selling history, please research eBay user Spirit Soap, and you'll find all my past items all have positive feedback. This box contains a doll with an attached evil disconnected spirit, active and EMF tested. Visible items inside that represent the spirit attached: waxed, sealed, closed. I inherited an entire collection of these boxes. This is not the only one. I came across these boxes from an extremely large inheritance of my deceased grandfather, who passed away in 2016 from a brain aneurysm at the age of 96. Me and my mother inherited everything he left behind. My grandfather was a lifelong priest for a small family-owned church that was started in 1926 by his mother and father. I never spent much time with my grandfather due to the fact that outside of the church, he was a very abusive and reclusive man and didn't care too much for women or children. My mother told me many stories when I got older of her childhood and her home life that I found very disturbing and unsettling. My grandfather was extremely passionate about his line of work, probably too passionate. It took him over and created a very dark and sorrow-filled home for her and her mother, who has also passed away before I was born to unknown circumstances. He was known and popular in our hometown of Dyersburg, Tennessee, for hundreds of personal deliverance ministries and exorcisms. I was absolutely horrified when I learned this. I've seen many movies on this kind of thing, and never did I dream this could be my life. My life. I mean, to actually accept my family roots entail priests and pastors performing these kind of morbid, unusual religious acts over and over. Anyways, as we were rummaging through his belongings and his estate, we fell upon a room in the basement behind his workbench. Surprised at the fact that my mother was surprised and shocked me. I was positive this was her childhood home. How could she have not known about this room? We found where we believed he performed his procedures. A rusted metal bed, a small table, and a large amount of what seemed to be dried up vomit and feces all over the cement ground, and a ridiculous amount of these boxes, like the ones pictured, were stacked neatly on top of the bed and under the bed, and a crucifix on each wall. This was like nothing we'd ever experienced before. None of this made any sense to me. Per my mom's wishes, she told me to take them to my father's campground and burn them. I had a bad feeling about it. Something was telling me not to do this. So I only took one of the boxes and burned it. What did I do? Something is wrong here. The first night after burning the box, I had a horrible nightmare of my grandfather standing above my bed, screaming at me, and then pouring buckets of vomit all over my room. I thought it was just my subconscious thoughts from the day before, but oh no, the hell that these boxes brought goes on. Sounds of whistling and children crying throughout my home at night, horrible smells of burning and ammonia whenever I passed the garbage where I stored the boxes in. I can't fucking read. I can't read today. Horrible smells of burning and ammonia whenever I passed the garage where I stored the boxes. Items in my home being misplaced, completely vanishing. Feeling gusts of cold air float past me, even when I was just sitting on the couch. I have also this insatiable urge of anger and harm, which is unlike me. I'm a very level-headed and soft-spoken being. I've become so uncomfortable in my own home that I found any excuse I could to leave the house just to not be there. Upon research, I learned quite a bit about these boxes, and thank God I only burned one. These boxes contain spirits or demons who usually have caused harm or can cause harm. They are used in binding spells and trap demonic energies. I also learned that these boxes can be very dangerous and are not to be opened under any circumstance. Please, if you have no paranormal experience with something like this, move on. I would hate to send any of these boxes into the hands of the innocent. The identity of my grandfather will be withheld due to privacy purposes. Per eBay policy, these items are to be sold as novelty. This item may or may not be haunted. There's no guarantee that you'll experience anything paranormal. You are purchasing a box that may or may not have a spirit attached. This is a tangible item. Please buy at your own risk, and please understand there's no guarantee of paranormal experience. So again, you can see this little box, kind of like a little kid's, little mini curio cabinet or whatever, lots of trinkets and whatnot. But it's just been slathered with this black, thick wax all over it.
Uh-huh. Yep.
And a couple candles on top.
Yeah.
So I kind of stuck with a theme here because when you type in haunted stuff on eBay, you kind of get a lot of boxes and little jewelry boxes and whatnot.
Yep.
So next, this one, I think, had some of the best description and really made me want to buy it really bad. For $22.80 plus $7.85 shipping and handling, Haunted Daemon Box, Exorcism Demon Vessel of Father Cornelius Sinclair. The box is 4 3/4 inches tall, 4 3/4 inches wide, and 6 inches long. Sealed by daemon wax. I did not attempt to pry it open. This is forbidden. For if this is opened, a demon will be unleashed. Adorned by a very antique cross on the top. Let me get a drink here. My great-great-uncle, Father Cornelius Sinclair, was an adamant Catholic priest and master of exorcisms. My grandma tells me that he performed 12 successful exorcisms back in the late 1930s all the way up until the mid-80s. Father Sinclair's methods were considered unorthodox by the church, but due to his success rate at casting out demons, he was considered one of the best in the field. Now, most priests, when performing exorcisms, will cast a demon out and it will roam free about the room. Sometimes this enables a demon to find another host. My great-great-uncle, however, would devise a spiritual trap for the spirit. So when it was casted out of the sinner, it would be locked and trapped away, unable to cause any harm in the room. He used little boxes that were blessed by his holy council. Father Sinclair would entice the demon into the box by placing it under a bed of the possessed. He used a holy stone to lure the evil into the boxes. A holy stone is a stone soaked in holy water. He also used a specific prayer that were secretly passed down and hidden away in Latin text and scriptures. Once the demon was exorcised and lured into the holy box, Father Sinclair and his priest followers would seal it shut with demonium wax. This was a special wax used in trapping negative energies or entities. My great-grandpa told him that the wax was boiled with silver, holy water, and sage. So that is what this mysterious wax is, Presto. You were kind of right in a way, but this is any kind of wax appears that would be boiled with silver and sage and holy water. This box was the last. Before Father Sinclair's retirement, he performed one last exorcism. It was at a children's home, and Father Sinclair performed one of the toughest exorcisms yet. My grandma tells me that his last demon was from ancient Greece, and that it left Father Sinclair completely blind following the ordeal. She recalls a story about the event. I was just a teenager. I overheard Father Sinclair talking to another priest while in the hospital. As Father Sinclair was being treated for having his eyes burned, she says that she overheard a chilling detail about the box and the demon they finally managed to trap inside. Apparently, the child who's been possessed at one point floated off of the bed. The poor child was also flung into walls, into pictures, and into a mirror hanging in the room. The priest tried to hold the child by her arm, but they too were flung across the room. After struggling for an hour, Father Sinclair finally positioned the box under the bed. He removed a vial of special holy water from his jacket. Now, supposedly from the real Jordan River, but encapsulated by King Jepha himself. After popping the lid off with his thumb, he poured it into the child's mouth. The water was very potent, and not long after, a shadowy demon came out from under the bed and bit one of the priest's shoes off. Father Sinclair slid this box under the bed and poured the rest of the holy water on the demon's face. scaring it back into the bed. Now each priest read from a book of Revelations as the bed began jumping up and down around the room. But then a bright light. Father Sinclair didn't close his eyes as he stared at the demon in the face to ensure that it was inside the box. The light burned and scorched his eye lenses so badly he was permanently blinded thereafter. But he crawled under the bed and slammed the box shut successfully. My grandmother tells me that before he was driven to the hospital by his priests, they took the box to the High Council and had it sealed with the demonium wax. The box is also bound by Saint Elizabeth and the power of Christ. My grandmother knows that I know not to open it, but she still calls me and preaches about it every day. The demon was Father Sinclair's toughest. Don't you go trying to fight it next. Warning, you must be 18 years or older to purchase. I'm required by eBay's policy on the sale of paranormal items for this sale to be a tangible item only, no promise of a spirit attached. eBay requires me to say this is for entertainment purposes only. Good luck, and may God and Jesus be with you.
The power of Christ compels you. The power of Christ compels you.
Now, the only one that I'm a little turned off of visually is this last box because it looks to be a wooden box. It looks like they dripped some kind of like green or gray candle wax on it, but then there's also like red wax spilled on it kind of ornately. So I'm like, it kind of looks like maybe you just bought something from Hobby Lobby and made something, but nonetheless, I think those are 3 really compelling stories, and I kind of somewhat want to go buy a demon box off of eBay.
Yeah, let's do it. It's for science.
Fuck that. You can keep your science. You can keep your science and your little gypsy rings. And tell me how that goes. So the last one I found here was from, I forget what website, but it's a story of a haunted doll. In Rotherham, England, a series of eerie events that have been following a seemingly harmless-looking China doll in the UK are freaking many people out left and right. Debbie Merrick, 50 years old, purchased a doll back in June from a second-hand store for only £5. She apparently had no idea what she bargained for. She and her husband, Cameron Merrick, also 50, claim the doll has attacked him in his sleep in the form of leaving mysterious scratch marks on the back of his leg. Debbie claims she's found the doll in different spots in the house, and not only does she think it can move on its own, but she's convinced it took its own necklace off in the box. Having had enough, Debbie stuffed the doll in a box, taped it shut, and threw it up for auction on eBay, before throwing it in the shed until shipping it away. The doll was bought by Lee Steer, a 30-year-old self-proclaimed paranormal investigator who wanted to know whether it indeed was something mystical or demonic. Shortly after winning the auction bid at £866, Lee's purchase may have proved its worth in terms of authenticity. A mere 2 days after the doll came into his possession, Lee's father claims he also found scratch marks under his arm that appear eerily similar to the one on Debbie Merrick's husband's arms. Lee and his parents claim lights in their home have been flickering, strange noises are becoming more frequent, and things in the house have been turning up cracked, broken, or just been moving on their own. Now, Lee claims his father is a believer, but he remains a skeptic. In an interview with the Rotherham Advisor, Lee was quoted saying, "I want it in my bedroom so I can get attacked. I really want to be proved wrong. I really want to push it. I'm asking to get scratched." His personal beliefs aside, he's still billing it as, quote, the most expensive what a douche. The most expensive haunted item ever bought on eBay. So what do you think, dude? Are you serious? Would you think you'd actually buy one of these things?
I would actually buy one of the boxes with the demonian wax on it just because even if it's not haunted, they look pretty fucking rad. And, I'd have that on my shelf of shit. So,
right.
No,
I don't know.
As far as like a haunted doll goes, like, yeah, those dolls don't really look that cool. Like, I don't need some like 20th century Raggedy Ann piece of shit sitting around my house. But the boxes with the wax, definitely.
Yeah, it'd be cool to find. I remember coming back from that Museum of Shadows and just having that weird period of time when, like, for like a week, I was just bound and determined and borderline obsessed with just finding a Ouija board planchette. And that's kind of died down. But did I ever tell you guys I actually went as far as messaging somebody about getting one of those? Yeah.
Yeah.
And I turned down her sale because the planchette was kind of boring looking because it was from the 70s and it's just this kind of like stained up yellow looking plastic piece of crap.
Yep. That's why we need to take a trip overseas, my friend.
I don't want to go that far. I can go to like Halloween Express and probably find one. Not authentic, but it might look cooler. Well, we could sit here and peruse eBay, but I think that's enough. I think that's a nice, easy episode to listen to. Help your day go by a little faster, maybe.
Yeah.
And then we'll pick things back up in a couple of days with Star People Part 3.
Ooh.
And I've actually been doing a little research myself, sir. I got a little bit of stories I've plucked out of that book I picked up, I Know What I Saw by Linda Godfrey. And I was trying to find a couple stories in Missing 411. I might be able to kind of like intertwine with what you have on that. But yeah, there you go. Well, folks, buy at your own risk. You can go to eBay, find tons of crap on here. And I'm going to use that term in all capital letters. Tons of crap. You've got haunted active doll, spirit vessel. You have voodoo dolls. You have haunted porcelain doll charity. All sorts of junk, and I feel like it's just a really great way to sell people's old crap that they couldn't sell at garage sales.
Yeah.
Just slap some dust on it, run it over with a car, and boom, haunted doll.
Boom.
Well, let's plug some stuff and get out of here, buddy. Check out Mark's solo show, Pixelated Sausage. Check out his video series, Attack at the Backlog. If you guys want, check out the Patreon. If you want to throw a couple shillings towards the network, that would be great. If not, you're still outstanding. We have t-shirts that we are currently working on getting rounded out, so we'll get that posted and get that information out to you guys soon. What else? Preston, what's my favorite race car podcast ever?
Sports Cars Unleashed, where if you're not first, you're last.
There you have it. All right, man. What do you got?
Well, as always, if you need a beard, if you want a beard, if you want to grow a beard that you don't have to buy off of eBay, check out BigDobsBeardBomb.com and use promo code PXLPARA for guaranteed satisfaction with scents like Bay Rum, Dundee Cedar, Fresh, Citrus, Classic, Sweet Tobacco. I'm trying to think. What else have I missed? They're all just so good. Guaranteed, unlike haunted eBay items. You can get oils, you can get combs, you can get it all. You can even get a beanie cap with Dobbs logos on it, which is thebombfucking.com. So check out Big Dobbs and use our promo code.
There you go. All right. Check out the Instagram account, PXL Paranormal. Twitter is the same. We got a Facebook page. Much love to all the new followers we continuously get. And I think we're coming up on 200. We're close to 200 followers on Instagram, which is, it's small to some. It's big to me.
That's
right.
What
she said. Cool. All right. Well, I think that just about does it. I'd like to say cheers to all the weird shit in the world and those of us that like to talk about it.
That's right. Stay spooky and stay on the paranormal highway.
The cast at Pixelated Paranormal would like to thank you for listening to this week's episode. Pixelated Paranormal is here to tell you tales of the fantastical, the strange, the unknown. Tales that will move you a little further down the paranormal highway. If you'd like to share your own listener story, we would love to hear it. Email us at pixelatedparanormal@gmail.com. Again, that's pixelatedparanormal@gmail.com. We'd really love to hear from you. Again, thanks for listening to this week's episode of Pixelated Paranormal, your guide to the unusual and the strange.